Hello, my name is Matt Teeden. I'm an engineer and mixer in LA. I produced, mixed, and mastered Fall Apart by Tanja. And I want to do a breakdown of the mix session because I feel like it'll be fun for me to look back on in a bunch of years. This mix is also a couple months old, so it'll be fun to look back and I don't know, see if I've changed anything in the past couple of months. And I feel like it's also cool for the other producers, collaborators, and Tanja to see what I do in Pro Tools, because it's not like a crazy mystery kind of thing. It's just it's like their music, and I don't want them to think it's shadowy black magic. They sent me an amazing song, and we made an amazing song, and so let's just hop in and take a listen. It'll be fun to break down the parts too. There's a lot of parts of this song. So as a quick overview, we have all of the drums here. The red is the percussion. Orange are the basses here. Green are the acoustic guitars. Anything that's pink is an effect. Reverbs, delays, stuff like that. Blue is the piano. Light blue is all of the strings. Even lighter blue, this is sea foam, is all of the strings. Like cloud blue, sky blue is even more strings. Oh, I forgot about that. And then this green here is a bunch of the keys that I had done. Some synths. Red is all of the lead vocals. And then anything in this folder here is all of the background vocals, harmony, stacks. These are some atmospheric pad type vocals, some oohs, some ahs, and then we run all of our effects down here. Everything dumps to these three buses: drum and bass, music, and vocals. The music and vocals also send to this rear bus, which is an old trick from Neve consoles. They were quad consoles, so you would have front left, front right, and that would be your mix, but you could also send to back left, back right. And since so few studios were actually using it as a quad console, you could send certain elements from your mix to the back bus, compress those separately, bring them onto channels, and then mix them in. And so that's what I'm doing here with the music and vocals, and they kind of play off of each other to create a cool parallel compression thing. And then the mix bus. So let's listen maybe to, let's just get to the big part here. In the bridge, we'll listen to like the bridge and the outro part, and then we'll start diving into sections.
You still call me when you're crying, when you swear you might be dying, when you're falling on your face. And I don't believe you're sorry, cause you only say you want me when I take 10 steps away. When you feel lonely and the road gets dark, I can't be the one to fix you when you fall apart. No, I can't be the one to fix you when you fall apart. No, I won't be the one to fix you when you fall apart.
Cool. That last chorus gets really big, and it was really fun to make. So a lot of this was produced by an amazing producer named Sam Bierman, and then Tanja brought both myself and Claire Mulvaney on to finish the production on the project. We added a bunch of like the acoustic guitars and some of the keys layers. Most of the percussion, the drums and percussion, is Sam's though. Let's listen to this here. This is just all of the drums and percussion, all of the drums. Which consists of kick. That's original from Sam, and then I layered it with a sample. I added a little bit of reverb to that. create some like length and a little bit of spaciousness. It adds like this like cool like woodiness, like a room-ish thing. And so that was one of the first things that I did when we were going through, because that main kick especially is just so low end heavy and so quick and punchy that I felt like there needed to be a little bit like something that sounded a little bit more like woodsy in there, and this reverb really does the trick. So those are all of the kick layers together. Let's see what we were doing to them. Actually, nothing on that EQ. I guess it was just there for safety. Bunch of lows and a little bit of knock. That definitely adds some thump. I've been loving transient shapers on drums lately. Just a little bit of attack. And then probably clipping it a tad. Cool. What else is in this clop loop? Oh yeah, so this loop was this is a Sam Bierman loop, and this was super dark in the original production because there were in the original production there was a whole drum kit over this, and so this was just a cool background layer. But when we ended up stripping the drums, this layer ended up adding a really cool like movement and like bounce to the whole thing, especially since we had stripped it back and made the drums so much more simple. And I remember I had brightened this up and boosted like a ton of like 2K to 10K, and then I was probably doing some more here. Yeah. Cymbals. Oh yeah, I made a like a high-end softening preset here, which just kind of saturates the high end a bit. Let's see how that sounds. Does a cool kind of like tape thing up top, and just a little bit of EQ. And then some more cymbals. When are these happening? Just bridge, probably.
And I don't believe you're sorry, cause you only say you want me when I take 10 steps.
And I think, so I took out a ton of I didn't really want any of like the tappiness, the clickiness of them during the bridge. I just kind of wanted like the little bit of high-end wash. So I took out a bunch of the attack and boosted a bunch of the sustain. Let's A-B that. And that's just for the bridge section.
Still call me when you're crying, when you swear you. Still call me when you're crying, when you swear you might be. Still call me when you're crying, when you swear you might be dying, when you're falling on your.
Tight. And then the last thing here is a drum reverb printed from Sam as well. And what's cool is that, so this track doesn't have any snares. It just has, and like we'll see in the next layers part, there are like some clocks and stuff and some tambourines and shakers that we did. But there's no like snare on 2 and 4. But the original drum pattern did have snare on 2 and 4, and this is a reverb from the original drum pattern. So it adds, it's like you get like a snare reverb on 2 and 4, but there's not actually a snare. So that's actually pretty cool. And so here's the drums with and without that. Like such a huge mover in the energy of everything. Like Sam really did a great job with that. I think we're compressing this bus a little bit, barely, and not clipping it at all. then I'm running a parallel bus. So this is also getting input from all of the drums. Smashing it pretty good with the decapitator, hitting it pretty good with the DBX 160. Probably boosting some low end and then limiting it pretty hard and then blending that in. So let's hear that on its own. So here's the drums with and without that parallel track. It just adds such a nice texture to all of the, like a detail to all of the, especially that like clop loop here and the drum reverb. It adds a really, really cool texture. So in that same section, there's also all of this percussion. Which is all stuff that I had done in the additional production near the end of the track. And I think I had kind of processed these all I wanted to in the production session. Looks like I'm compressing the tambourine a little bit, but that's it for this whole bus. Yep, that's basically it. And I don't think anything is even sending... Yep, nothing's even sending to that reverb. So that's it for the entire bus. So here are the drums and percussion. Let's make sure this is still going. That's still going. That's still going. This is still going. Cool. Bass. All of this is the original Sam Bierman bass, just split out at different levels, different widths, and just like processed slightly differently. Here's the intro bass. I didn't do anything to the track itself. Here it is in the chorus.
Call me when falling on your face, 'cause I don't believe you're sorry, and you only say you want me when I take 10 steps away. When
Not even doing anything to it in that EQ. It was nice. I was able to go a lot lighter in the mix for two reasons. One, the tracks coming in from Sam were killer. I don't even think I really touched... He had like all of these background vocal stacks. I think all I did was level them in the mix, maybe a little bit of compression on them and stuff. I guess we'll see later. A lot of this stuff I didn't really have to touch that much. And also, since there was a full production session where I was able to get the song close before bringing it into mix, I did a lot of stuff there too, especially on the layers that Claire and I added. Here's the what's this, verse 2 bass. And I'm pretty sure why I did that is that we'll get down to the rest of it in a minute, but during verse 2 there's a big string bass here. So I was leaving some that lower mid-range space for that bass. We can also see the chorus bass is a dB hotter than the rest of it. There's a lot of stuff here that very subtly changes from verse to pre to chorus to bridge to chorus, and that's what helps it blow up so much in all of those big sections. It's just a combination of production changes and also kind of the mix following that storyline as well. So on the bass bus, what are we doing? Nothing on there. This plugin is cool. So we're limiting a little bit. This plugin sounds fat too. Even when you don't push low end, it also sounds fat. But I am pushing a little bit of low end. This is of the two options, this is the lower low end. I don't know what the frequency is, but the other one is a higher low end. And then we're pushing some saturation here, which you can kind of hear. It just makes it a little bit fatter, a little bit more consistent. Then Spectre's doing nothing. And that's it there. Cool. So here's where the layers get very interesting. This is some stuff that Claire Mulvaney played on guitar. And I recorded and messed up the sounds a lot in the production, and it was loading up tons and tons and tons of plugins. So much so, maybe I'll go through at some point the production session and kind of go through that stuff, since so much processing happened there. But let's get into here. So this is in this is the intro guitar. So we're limiting a little bit there and pulling out a little bit of 600. And then there's a harmonics part in the chorus that in the production I ended up flying into the verse and turning way, way, way down as just kind of like a ghost layer here. So then when we get to the chorus, there's on the left, there's a guitar. I think I manually chopped and faded the attack out of all of these chords. Wrong one. Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. And then on the left side during that same section, we got this. Just a little bit of limiting there. EQ dynamically cutting around 450. And then the EQ right after it. I guess I heard another ringing frequency. Yeah, that frequency, I guess I wasn't digging. And those together, since they're just playing such wildly different things, sounds very wide. So then there's a harmonics part that Claire played that I ended up doing a lot of stuff to in the production session, and by the time it got here, it sounded like this. So what did I do here? Pushed a little bit of 2K. And we also pulled out a little ring. So those three together are really what create the first chorus, since like none of the strings are in. I guess there's a cello pad, but like the big stacked strings aren't in yet. There's only one keys part. The main piano isn't all the way in yet. So it's like this is what's really creating chorus one.
Say you want me when I take 10 steps away. So don't call me when you're crying, when you swear you might be dying, when you're falling on your face. 'Cause I don't believe you're sorry, and you only say you want me when I take 10 steps away. When you're feeling lonely and the road gets...
So that's all of the acoustic guitars, which kind of chop in and out and stuff like that. Oh, except for this one part going into the bridge. I ended up taking one of the acoustic guitar notes, pulling it onto another track, throwing a massive reverb on it, printing that, and then alter buoying the pitch up and the formant down going into the bridge to create like a transition between those sections, because they didn't it felt a little bit too abrupt. And so that's this track here. I'm not sure if anyone ever notices when they hear the track, but it's one of my favorite things that I did on this song. And here's what that sounds like in context.
You still call me when you're crying, when you swear you might be dying.
So when that's missing, it just seems like there's a little bit of transitional open space there.
You still call me when you're crying, when you swear that's a change. You still call me when you're crying, when you swear you might be dying, when you're falling on your face.
So that was my nerd thing on this track. I had a very good time doing that. So down to piano. All of these were played by Alec Lubin. If you want to check him out, he's tagged in all the Instagram posts. And stuff like that. Like, I think I posted part of the music video. Ooh, maybe I'll link the music video here too, because the music video is super cool. Tanja shot a beautiful music video for this. So there are 3 layers on the intro piano. And so that piano is from a studio that Alec works at. Tanja and Claire and I were in session, and we had done most of this production in one day, and then they left and I worked on it for another 6 or 8 hours afterwards. And so we had done most of our part of the production in one day. And as part of that, we were like, we really, really want an acoustic piano for this. And I knew that Alec was the guy that could definitely play the part. I've done a lot of projects with him before, and the parts that he plays are always beautiful and fit the track so perfectly. So I texted him the track. I had muted all the pianos, bounced it, and texted him the track and was like, hey, like, run some piano passes on this when you get a chance. I'd definitely love to loop you in on this project. Not realizing he was at the studio, their piano was already mic'd up, and about 10 minutes later he sent me back 2 full passes of the song, which we pick and chose, and those became the piano parts from the song. So that's what you're hearing right now. This is Alec's first pass of the intro. And I think these 2 parts are doubling the like thematic melody. also from Alec. On the low one, I'm cutting a little bit of mid-range. Nothing crazy, though. Also realized... Oh, I guess that's the only thing happening on the acoustic guitar bus. I realized I never checked that. As the pianos go along... Man, I really didn't do... That's the only plugin on all of the pianos. That's crazy. I guess I know I had done a bunch of stuff to them in the production session. By the time they got here, they didn't really need much. But this is...
Wanna be the shoulder.
So that's one that I had played, just doubling that thematic melody.
Be the shoulder you cry on. You cry on every time you get hurt.
There's nothing for the chorus. I mean, yeah, and then...
The way you didn't notice I'd gone. For every night for every piece of my heart I had to stitch up alone. Please forgive me if I don't pick up the phone when you call me when you're crying.
So, again, just doubling the melody there. And then I also put in the very end of that melody after her vocal lines in the chorus as well.
On your face, 'cause I don't believe you're sorry, and you only say you want me when I take 10 steps away. When you feel it.
Just to fill that space with something meaningful. And at this point, Alec's piano comes in for the bridge, and from that point out, all of the piano is acoustic.
Call me when you're crying, when you swear you might be dying, when you're falling on your face. And I don't believe you're sorry, 'cause you only say you want me when I take 10 steps away. When you feel it.
I can kind of hear that I can press that pretty hard, and there's like a slappiness to it that I wish was a little bit softer. There's also like some kind of pushy mid-range, like...
I don't believe you're sorry, 'cause you only say you want me when I don't believe you're sorry, 'cause you only say you want me when I take 10 steps away.
I think that would have been a little nicer, something like that. Maybe dynamically, just on the attacks, or maybe you do something with a transient shaper, who knows. But I still love that part. It's gorgeous. So then there are two sections of strings. We had Claire, on the very first production day, Claire laid some cello tracks. Those are the light blue ones. And then the seafoam blue ones is a strings arrangement that Alec did. So let's listen to that in, this is it in the last chorus. Just beautiful, totally beautiful. And then he also did that in all of the strings in verse 2 are his. This cool like bouncy thing. Pushing some of the attack on those just to get like a little bit more transient out of it, and then carving up some mid-range and pushing a little bit of upper mid-range there. And then the violins come in on the other side. Taking out some lows, pushing some highs around 5K. Probably also pushing some transients. Yep. Oh, and then there's the low bass there too. So limiting very heavily. Working some soothe on it. You can just zoom in and see how much these notes vary and swell and all that. So just trying to control some of that. Little Pro Q3, just a dip there. And so this is that bass without everything. And with everything. And then we hit the chorus there. Oh, there's this cool tremolo swell right before the chorus. And then we are straight into the chorus instrumentation there. Let's bypass and unbypass all the chorus string stuff. So the high strings. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, listen, there's just noise up there. I guess we can see it on the analyzer. That kind of stuff, especially with an airy vocal and a lot of high percussion and all that, that's just noise. You're not hearing notes, you're not hearing tones, and I think that that sounds that high, like that 12K plus, is almost like an instrument of itself. Like that air is an instrument of itself, of like what is going to have the air. It's probably not the supporting strings part there. It's probably going to be something that we want to pull forward in the mix, and it was probably the vocals. It's usually what it is. S1 Imager, what are we doing here? Pushing a little bit of width. So let's hear this with and without everything. Now the mid strings. Low strings. When it comes to the low strings, you got to remember we also have that massive synth bass from Sam as well. We also have a second set of low strings. So all of those together. So that's the like post-chorus section there.
In 100 different ways, you can say sorry, but some things just never change. You still call me when you're crying, when you swear you might be dying, when you fall.
So in the intro, we also have another string pad from Alec.
You're a shit.
And then we have some of the original production cellos from Claire as well.
It's over, so wipe all your tears on your own damn shirt. So don't come on your face, 'cause I don't believe you're sorry, and you only say you want me when I take 10 steps away. When you're feeling lonely.
And then I think this comes in on the other side.
Be the one to fix you when you fall apart in a room full of people.
So then on to the keys that I added here. Synths and then vocals. I added this in the intro. Very subtle. Nothing crazy there. What's this doing?
Call me when
And nothing on that EQ. Just got the sound in the production session and that was that. Cool.
swear you might be dying when you're falling on your face. For every night I ended up on my own. For every piece of my heart I had to stitch up alone. Please forgive me if I
Sash is doing a cool little like repeat melody thing.
don't belong. When I slipped away, you didn't notice I
added this. What's this?
when you call me when you're crying. When you call me when you're crying.
Just to help build that energy into that section. That's pretty cool. And then and just the outro keys here.
No, I won't be the won't be the one to fix you when you fall apart.
And that's all the what's it called? The UAD Spark 88 keys. What is that? I don't have a lot of instruments. I just mix Electra 88 vintage keys. All of the keys that I did here are that. And then the couple of keys parts. Oh, wake up, computer. And the couple of keys parts that I did here, these like sparkly things. Those are all built in Avid Pro Tools Expand 2. Just whatever gets the job done. We got a synth here. Oh, actually, there's stuff going on that keys bus. Just some mid-range control. Very slight widening. Black box design. I've been doing anything with this? It's just there. Nothing crazy. And some golf balls. Alright, there's a synth here. It's in the intro. And so that just kind of comes in and out throughout the course of the production, adds a little bit of flow, some spaciousness, fills in some space. And then lastly, the only part I really hear this production, this synth, is in the outro, but I'm cool with kind of just hearing it there. It's this really cool, like, sine wave, pure slidey thing. So you can kind of hear it in the outro. Very quiet, very subtle, just adding sprinkly layers at that point. Lastly, we got a couple effects. That is brought to you by Sam Bierman, and I did not touch it. This one as well, and took off a little bit of like sub, probably just to stop it from like pumping a clipper or limiter. So those happen going into choruses and stuff. Pick up the phone when you call me, when you're crying, when you swear you might be dying, when you're falling on your face. Alrighty, we're on vocals. So on the lead vocals, I'm doing a lot of automation here, and this is on all of the S's, T's, sibilants, stuff like that. I had already gone through, I had edited mouth clicks. I had already done some of the breaths. I had already done some of the sibilance control. These vocals came in super bright, so in the production session, I remember taking out some of the high end. I think I did maybe some more here, yeah. This was actually only for the verse, though. And what are we doing with this one? Taking that out, too, and that is for the bridge and outro as well. So the calmer parts just don't need to be as like flat out forward. But so here's the vocal without anything on it. Shit, we're about to crash. I was the tide, bringing you back. You were the lungs and I was your air. You never noticed till I wasn't there. And I don't wanna be the shoulder you cry on. You cry on every time you get hurt. I'm sorry, but so on this EQ, before everything hits the bus, boosted a little bit of upper mid-range, took out a little bit of high end. You were a ship about to crash. I was the tide, bringing you back. You were the lungs and I was your air. When we get to the vocal bus, getting a little bit more body, but then bringing it down dynamically so it doesn't become too much. You were a ship about to crash. I was the tide, bringing you back. You were the lungs and I was your air. And I don't wanna be the shoulder you cry on. You cry on every time you get hurt. I use Pro MB in one way as a de-esser. So this top band is de-essing, and then the bottom band is de-essing, but it's triggered by basically the top band. It's triggered by this area here, from 7K to 10K. You were a ship about to crash. I was the tide, bringing you back. Doing a little bit of limiting. You were a ship about to crash. I was the tide, bringing you back. And also pushing a little bit of the upper low end as well.
You were a ship about to crash. I was the tide bringing you back. You were the lungs and I was your air.
So let's go to a part where she's singing louder.
Call me when you're crying, when you swear you might be dying, when you're falling on your face. Cause I don't believe you're sorry, and you only say you want me when I take 10 steps away.
Alright, Spectre, adding a little bit of mid-range back in. Bring her forward a little bit, but forward without making her any brighter.
Call me when you're crying, when you swear you might be dying, when you're falling on your face. Cause I don't believe you're sorry, and you only say you want me when I take 10 steps away.
And then we had gotten this vocal so mushy and control, like so kind of like bricked out with compression and limiting. I wanted to add back some transients. So we're adding back transients, everything below 6.2. And everything above 6.2, we're adding transients and taking away sustain, because I found that by the time that, with the processing that her vocal had coming in being so bright, and by the time that I had done a little bit of my stuff, there was the high from like the high end of the vocal was just like on or off. The second she started singing, it was on, and the second she stopped singing, it was off, and there was no like movement to it. And so I wanted to create a little bit of flow there, so we can hear that.
Call me when you're crying, when you swear you might be dying, when you're falling on your face. Cause I don't believe you're sorry, and you only say you want me when I take 10 steps away. When you
So that makes the high end of her vocal more dynamic, which I very much enjoyed. And then after that, then I'm controlling the S's, because making the high end more dynamic, there's a chance that S's and T's and stuff pop out even more. So all of this is sending to my width bus, which I'll show you in a sec, but we can A-B it.
I'm sure. So don't call me when
Let's A-B it without any effects.
I'm sure. So don't call me when you're crying, when you
Where's that coming from? That would be... Oh, wrong vocal.
I'm sure. So don't call me when you're crying, when you swear you might be dying, when you're falling on your face. Cause I don't believe you're sorry, and you only say you want me when I take 10.
And so that just widens stuff out a little bit. And so what that width bus is the vocal is sending equally to the UAD Studio D chorus on setting 1 stereo, and then that's brought down 7 dB. It is sending equally to micro shift 100% wet, a bunch of detune, tighter on the delay, no filtering, and style 1, and that's brought down 10 dB. And then on time adjuster, we're adjusting by samples, and then that's brought down 15 dB. The combination of those go to the width effects bus, which gets a bunch of mid-range and low-end pulled out, and a bunch of brightness dynamically brought down to help with sibilance.
I'm sure. So don't call me when you're crying, when you swear you might be dying, when you're falling on your face.
Let's do this. Let's make that pre, then we'll be able to hear this alone. Maybe not. Oh, here we go.
So don't call me when you're crying.
So that's that. Then we have, that is sending to the 7th Heaven reverb on Sunset, and I have that muted and down. Why is that? Am I automating that? Nope, maybe I just didn't like it. It's sending there though. So this vocal is sending to Sunset, and there's nothing.
So don't call me when you're crying, when you swear you might be dying.
it's sending to Valhalla. I probably swap these out later in the process. Valhalla's getting low end rolled off. I'm hitting it with Soothe very hard.
So don't call me when you're crying, when you swear you might be dying, when you fall.
And then Dirty Plate, very long, taking out a ton of high end, a bunch of low end, and throwing in some modulation. Pretty short pre-delay.
So don't call me when you're crying, when you swear you might be dying, when you're falling on your face.
Then we got a quarter
So
note delay.
don't call me when you're crying, when you swear you might be dying, when you're falling on your face. Cause I don't believe you're sorry, and you only say you want me when I take 10 steps away. When you're feeling lonely and the road gets...
And that's getting very, very slightly sidechained to the lead vocal. And then there's an eighth note.
So don't call me when you're crying, when you swear you might be dying, when you're falling on your face. Cause I don't believe you're sorry, and you only say you want me when I take 10 steps away. When you feel...
So all of these vocal effects are going here.
So don't call me when you're crying, when you swear you might be dying, when you fall.
And they're getting
So don't call me when you're crying.
These are actually getting all of the effects are getting sidechained to the vocal here.
So don't call me when you're crying, when you swear you might be dying, when you're falling on your face. Cause
then, so with everything on there and everything on the bus.
So don't call me when you're crying, when you swear you might be dying, when you're falling on your face.
What are we at? 53 minutes. Let's see if we can get this over in an hour. All right, so yeah, doing a bunch of automation, and automating the level of the width bus in certain places. And so each of these vocals, the sectional vocals, has slightly different send levels to all of the different reverbs as well. So this is a vocal thing that I added myself the night after the production session when Claire and Tanja left. Wrong thing. I added this one. Which again, all of the processing on that happened in the production session, which I will probably go into at some point because there's a chain of like 7 or 8 plugins on that, doing some crazy shit. Here is one that Tanja added. This actually came in pretty late in the process. This was the final session after a couple sessions and a couple production revisions before even getting to the mix. This was after this session was when we approved the production for mix. And this was one of the big things that we added. Which is Tanja.
You're a ship about to cry.
It comes way down next time.
You cry on every time you get hurt. I'm sorry, but I think it's over, so wipe all your tears on.
And then it transitions us from the last chorus to the outro.
To fix you when you fall apart. No, I won't be the one to fall apart.
The atmospheric vocal thing that I added is only in verse 2.
I don't understand. It's like I'm a stranger in a foreign land. You're the life of the party and I don't belong. When I slipped away, I didn't notice I'd gone. For every night I ended up on...
And then from here out, all of these stacks, the harmonies, the oohs, the ahs, there's an ad-lib there too. These were all original from Sam, and I don't think I touched them damn near at all. They're all going to the background vocal bus, which is getting a little bit of mid-range control, some limiting, some lower high end. This one sounds like it's around 5K. This one sounds like it's around 12 or 14K. And then some de-essing. Probably heavy dissing since it's the background bus, but let's see.
Every night, every piece of my heart is such a blow.
So I think I had added, in the production session, I had added specific reverbs on these, and then I printed it. Yeah, there's the commit right there. So I'd printed those. I think that's kind of all I did to them, though. Then I just leveled them out. So in like the chorus, it sounds like.
I can't be the one. Fall apart. It's dark. I can't be the one to fix you when you fall apart. You can say you're sorry in 100 different ways.
So then 2 reverbs came in with the original thing. I kept that. That made it in the mix. And then there's a longer reverb. So that sounds like it's only on the Oz. But so I kept those, and then we went through all of my effects. Then this one is pretty processed late stage down the line here. So all of the drum and bass are running to this bus. We're pushing some low end and we're pushing some high end. This high end is also automated to go up later in the song to create, again, more build and more movement as the song progresses. This is getting clips. Ever so slightly, and then limited. Honestly, recently I've been going a lot heavier on this limiter, and it sounds fine. Just getting a little bit more control of the kick, snare, and bass before it hits the clipper and the mix bus and everything there. I ended up actually going pretty light on this, though this mix ended up being kind of loud. It's not quiet, but it's not like Skrillex level, but so that's everything that's happening there. The music bus in the chorus. Let's make sure we're at a chorus somewhere. Very slow attack. This is just stopping anything from getting overwhelmingly woofy or mid-rangey. And then this is side chaining all of the music to the lead vocal so that the lead vocal can sit a little deeper in the mix but also have a pocket to live.
I can't be the one to fix you when you fall apart.
And then we're limiting that slightly. Lead vocal bus, the all vocals bus is getting some soothe on the high end.
When you're feeling lonely and the road gets dark, I can't be the one to fix you when you fall apart. No, I can't be the one to fix you when you fall apart.
That, I feel like, just makes all the vocals a little smoother, makes the high end, it takes kind of like the squeaky whistles out of the high end, thus making the high end a little bit more consistent and dense with all of the brightness that's in the vocals. So then both of the music and the all vocals get sent to the rear bus, like I had talked about. That I'm compressing with the Slate Fairchild, because this thing has crazy box tone. The second you put it on, it's like 2K. It's such a forward sounding compressor. It is not always the right thing. I think it sounds awesome on this bus though. So then getting into the mix bus, this is a pretty heavy mix bus. We're clipping at the top. We're compressing. This is like an SSL style thing, super slow attack, or I guess 30 millisecond attack. This one has the 100 option, which the original doesn't have. But fastest release, 100 milliseconds, 2-to-1, and a little bit of a high pass. You know what? Okay, yeah, actually this will work. Boosting a little bit of 12K. Spectre's boosting a little bit of mid-range. These are all pretty subtle changes. This I used so that it would bring up the quieter sections. In this chorus, it should be pretty pinned down. But if we were to go to like the intro per se, it's working to kind of bring up the space between those notes, bring up a little bit of the detail. Then we're hitting the God particle pretty hard. Not even gonna lie. That's pretty crazy. This is very often not the right flavor, but for this one, I actually really dug it. And then we're running Ozone, nothing on the EQ, little bit of Spectral Shaper in the top. Little bit of widening above like 450. And then we're limiting pretty hard. So if I level match the whole mix bus, my guess is it's probably around like here-ish to level match. So when all this is off, I'm definitely getting more bloom in the low end. At times I think it might be a little bit too much, but you can also see where we're hitting on the output meter. We even got up to around like -3 or so. Then with this on. So between the arrangement and the mix bus, this is where a lot of the loudness is coming from. Though we did create an incredibly dense arrangement in the last part, just like with everything in. So I think that definitely contributed to that. But yeah, with this up, that's kind of everything. So something I like to do a lot when I'm producing and mixing is to kind of find like different versions of the song from soloing different elements and stuff like that. And I think the pretty acoustic version of this track is very beautiful. Let's get some strings. Yeah, maybe some keys. Something like that.
When you're feeling lonely and the road gets dark, I can't be the one in a room full of people I don't understand. It's like I'm a stranger in a foreign land. You're the life of the party and I don't belong. When I slipped away, didn't notice I'd gone. For every night I ended up on my own. For every piece of my heart I had to stitch up alone. Please forgive me if I don't pick up the phone. When you call me, when you're crying, when you swear you might be dying, when you're falling on your face.
I just think that's a fun version of the song to listen to. Anyway, that's kind of it. Thanks for sticking around and checking it out. I hope this was either informative or interesting, or maybe you don't know me or this song, and maybe you then go check out this song. I will link this song down below. It's a very cool song. Tanja is awesome, and thank you, Tanja, for letting me do stuff like this. It's fun for me to have stuff like this that I can go back to, and I think I plan on making some older ones from mixes maybe like a year or two ago, because so much of my process has changed since then. It'll be fun to go back and see stuff that I used to do but no longer do, stuff that I do slightly differently but get the same or slightly better result, where it's like the concept is the same but I use different tools now, stuff like that. I think it would be fun to go through and just see how my process has changed in the mixes. And I feel like if I was an artist, it would be fun to see someone break down everything that they did on the songs too. So thanks for checking it out, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.